War Eagle, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tiger Tally. I'm Mary Grace Long. The NCAA announced today that New Orleans will be the host of the 2022 Final Four. This will be the sixth time New Orleans will host the Final Four and the first time since 2012. Rodgers for president? With the presidential election over, fans took to Twitter posting a popular write-in choice. What would be a surprise to most was that it was Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers who admitted even he came in second to votes to the late Cincinnati Zoo gorilla, Harambe. The MLB released their annual Players' Choice Awards recipients. The most notable winner was the late Miami Marlins pitcher, Jose Fernandez. His peers voted him the National League's Comeback Player of the Year. Fernandez died in September in a boating accident prior to the MLB season ending. Let's take a break and stay tuned to find out what has been going on in the world of Auburn sports. You're watching Tiger Tally on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
Each year, Auburn University's Beat Bama Food Drive partners with the Food Bank of East Alabama to provide relief for food insecurity. Last year, we were able to raise 200,000 pounds of food, and now we need your help. We will be collecting cans from October 5th through November 20th. Get ready to help us fight food insecurity and beat Bama.
Welcome to the College Block of Tiger Tally. My name is Donna Poa, and let's get to it. Kentucky Wildcats came into town Friday night, but lo and behold, Auburn fought through a 5-set thriller but ultimately fell to the Wildcats. On Sunday, Auburn welcomed in Ole Miss Rebels in another 5-set thriller. The Rebels fell to the Tigers. Last night, the Tigers traveled to Tuscaloosa, and in yet another 5-set thriller, the Tigers couldn't hold on and fell to Crimson Tide 3-2. Next up, Auburn will travel to Columbia to face off with Missouri on November the 18th. The soccer team competed in the semifinals of the SEC Championship last Friday. The majority of the game was a standstill at 2-1, with Arkansas having the advantage, and then in the 67th minute, Avery Batson was removed from the game with a red card, leaving the Tigers to play with only 10 players the remainder of the contest. The Tigers battled hard but could not finish, and then Arkansas netted the third goal, sealing the victory for them with under 5 minutes to go on the clock. Auburn players South Alabama in the NCAA tournament this Saturday. Kickoff will be at noon. Men's and women's basketball tips off this season this Friday in the Auburn Arena. The women will host Troy with the tip-off set for 5:30, and the men will host the North Florida with the tip-off at 8:30. Early morning for football fans this past weekend. Auburn hosted Vanderbilt in Jordan-Hare Stadium for their last home SEC game.
Early morning wake-up call here in Jordan-Hare Stadium as the 9th-ranked Auburn Tigers take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Believe it or not, Vanderbilt actually leads this series 21-20 with one tie. Auburn looking to tie this series up and potentially be a contender for the SEC Championship. Of course, they still have Alabama and Texas A&M still ahead of them in the West. Let's check out a couple highlights from the game.
Another close game for the Tigers. Defense really set fire when it mattered right there at the end. But one of the bigger stories coming in, right before the kickoff, news broke that John Franklin III would start the game. Sean White was banged up, however, he would start the second half, even after not practicing all week. Cameron Petway rushed for over 200 yards, which now puts him over 1,000 yards for the season. He's now Auburn's 10th running back since 2009 to rush for over 1,000 yards. Auburn had 2 touchdowns in the game, a rushing touchdown from Kerryon Johnson. He broke the line of scrimmage, that's good. And a 21-yard pass from White to Darius Slayton. Carlson made 3 of his 4 field goals today. His longest was 53 yards, and he is now Auburn's all-time leader with 61 field goals made. On the Auburn defense, linebacker Deshaun Davis was ejected at the beginning of the game on a targeting call. For the remainder of the game, the Auburn defense would allow 1 passing touchdown from the Vanderbilt offense and 3 field goals. Vanderbilt passed for over 200 yards and had over 100 rushing yards. However, in the end, the Auburn defense came up big in the final minutes. They stopped the Vanderbilt offense from scoring to tie the game. Joshua Holtze had another interception to clinch the game.
Auburn travels to Athens next week for the South's oldest rivalry. For Eagle Eye Sports, I'm Casey Cooper.
Auburn picked up the 6th straight victory but remained at number 9 in the college football rankings. Auburn now control their own destiny in the SEC West, sitting right behind Alabama. Auburn travels to Athens this weekend for the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Kickoff against the Bulldogs is at 2:30. The football team is on a hot streak. Let's catch up with how myself and Mary Greenlee, as we caught up with the students around campus on how we feel about the Auburn team.
With Auburn football climbing the rankings up to number 9, we stop and talk to students about their opinions on the season.
How do you think the Auburn football season has gone so far?
Well, we started out pretty slow, but we've been picking things up lately, and it's looking in a pretty good direction so far.
I think the football season's gone excellent. I think that we've really progressed as the season's gone on. The quarterback has definitely stepped in his role. Sean White's doing a great job. And I think that there's a good chance we can go to the Natty.
We started off rough, but I think progress marked our every step as we went throughout the season. Our defense really took those attributes of helpfulness and pride to heart and really put the team on their back. I think we're going to win out for the rest of the season. So.
You think we're going to beat Alabama?
I think it's going to be a pretty good game, but I think we're going to come out on top.
I think we have a very good chance to beat Alabama.
Yes, because Alabama hasn't been playing good at all, in my opinion.
Student fans feel very confident about the future of Auburn football and going into the Iron Bowl. This has been Mary Greenlee for Tiger Tally.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned to see what's happening in the nation worldwide with former Auburn players. You're watching Tiger Tally on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
Auburn Guides is your guide to Auburn University. You can access schedules, create your own to-do lists, interact with friends, and always get the most up-to-date information. The Auburn Guides app gives access to information on the go so you never miss out. Auburn Guides is available for free on the Play Store and Apple App Store.
Welcome back. I'm Mary Greenlee. Let's get down to what's going on in the professional world of sports. Seattle Seahawks cornerback Richard Sherman was fined today for his hit on Bills kicker Dan Carpenter Monday. The NFL fined Sherman over $9,000 for a hit that was not called by the NFL officials during the game. The call of roughing the kicker was not made during the game and was later clarified after by the NFL. The officials will not face any disciplinary actions. NFL ratings have been down this year. Their solution to fix it? The NFL announced that they are considering lowering commercials in order to boost their ratings. The question of the NFL season, will Tony Romo take over when he returns? Romo has been medically cleared this week. It is now a coach's decision whether he will play. The NBA champions Cleveland Cavaliers visited the White House today. President Barack Obama joked with the Cavaliers star LeBron James, asking if he can rip the sleeves off the jersey he received. LeBron's response, quote, "I'll show exactly how to do it." Coming up next, we'll go into our last 2 weeks of our Fantasy Football League. You're watching Tiger Tally on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6.
This is Auburn Feud with your host, JJ Jackson.
It is! That's the number 4 answer. 19 points awarded to Theta. Yeah! That's 6th answer. They clogged the toilet.
We have 2 weeks left in the regular season for fantasy. Honey Bunches of Oats and Edelman Longtime battle for the top spot, while the rest of the rankings have shuffled. I'm Meredith Brito, and this is the Fantasy Football Blitz on Tiger Tally. Here with me today are Casey, Sarah, and Jarrett. How are y'all feeling today?
You know, I'm feeling okay. Like, I've lost last week, after having a couple weeks of winning. But, I feel pretty good this week because I have a rematch against this guy this week. And I'm feeling pretty confident about it.
The same guy she also lost to in week 1.
Hey, second time's around, I'm going to win this one.
Whatever.
I'm feeling okay this week. My team has been shuffling week after week. And I think I finally found the people to pick up the slack where I have the injuries this week. And I really think I'm going to come out strong this week with different additions to my team.
I won last week, and it was fun. I'm going to do it again this week against her.
No,
on top of that, today's my birthday, 21. I feel great.
Yes, happy birthday to you.
It doesn't mean that much for me.
The Week 9 winners were Jared, me, Micah, JJ, and Erica, who led the league in scoring.
This week will be our 10th week of fantasy football, which means every member in our league has faced each other once. So now it's time to go against the opponents we've each faced in week 1. Matchups this week will include Edelme Longtime versus the Best Team, my team, the Deckers, versus Sarah's team, Bill's Mafia,
Boo.
Casey and Jared going head-to-head.
Yay.
It's On Like Gronky Kong versus the Olivias, and Honey Bunches of Oats versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Bortles. How have your teams changed since week 1?
Well, I feel like my team has improved, even though I'm still second to last. Like, at least I'm not last. Like, I feel like I've gotten better. I'm not 0-4, like losing 4 straight weeks. I'm not doing that. I'm winning at least some.
It depends on the week. It goes up and down week to week. I think this week I finally might have the winning combination that I have not had since the first 2 weeks, where I've had to make a lot of moves and drop Sammy Watkins.
She's just like the actual Buffalo Bills, up and down.
Yep.
I feel pretty good. My team is better than what the record says. You're shaking your head. You got beat on me week 1. I have Spencer Ware. Doug Martin's coming back. I have Andrew Luck and Dak Prescott. LaShawn, Shady, your boy. I have the team. I can beat her by a lot of points.
Hey, I have Tyler Eifert, who's back. Like Garrett Blunt, who's still been doing pretty well, even with Brady back. And Eli Manning, you know.
May I just
I feel
also
like they'll
say, before you forget, LaShawn McCoy's on a bye this week, so you won't have him
It's
versus
also
Casey.
true. But I don't need him.
Yeah, you do.
You say that now.
Yeah, you do.
Go ahead and take this L.
Do you expect a different outcome against your opponents this time around?
Of course I do. I have plenty of good players, like I just said, and all of my good players, like the past 2 weeks, I've had players on bye or either being injured. Jamal Charles, I'm gonna miss you, but I feel like they've had their byes out of the way. I have all my good players starting this week, so I'm ready to take down Jared.
My team is going to do it the exact same as last time since I beat Meredith's team last time. Now, I have a lot of major roster moves. I've had to drop a lot of people like Sammy Watkins and pick up a lot of people, but I think I've picked up 2 Auburn players that are going to carry my team again and pick up the slack where now I don't have a Sammy Watkins or a lot of other people.
The same thing happened week 1. Will happen again next. I'm not going to waste my time with that.
Now let's move on to our Thursday night picks. Tonight, the winless Cleveland Browns will be seeking their first win, traveling to face their division opponent, Baltimore Ravens. How do you all see this game going?
Ravens win.
No, I think the Browns are going to blow. I'm just kidding. Ravens, I'm sorry, Browns. Maybe y'all will win one day, but not tonight.
You're going into Baltimore. You're not going to get your first win in Baltimore, Ravens.
I already said Ravens.
Now on to college football. After last week, Texas A&M fell 4 spots to number 8 in the college football playoff rankings. This will be a key week as we edge closer to the end of the regular season. Our first game we will pick today is LSU at Arkansas. LSU is coming off a well-fought loss to number 1 Alabama, while number 25 Arkansas is coming off a 31-10 win against the Florida Gators. The spread is in favor of LSU by 7. What are your predictions for this game?
I think LSU is going to get this one with their new coach, Ed Orgeron. He's doing pretty well with this team, so I think they're going to go into Arkansas and get that victory.
I think LSU is going to go in and blow them out of the water. I mean, why did they fall that many spots after only losing to Alabama, the best team, 10-0, and holding them scoreless until the 4th quarter? I think they're a lot better than their rank shows, so LSU.
LSU will go in. It'll be harder than what they think because Arkansas is a better team than what their ranking says as well. So LSU's going to go in. They're going to struggle a little bit, but they'll get the win probably by like 10 points.
As we mentioned before, Texas A&M fell in the college football playoff rankings after their loss to Mississippi State. The Aggies are now ranked number 8. Ole Miss, on the other hand, is coming off a win against Georgia Southern. The spread favors Texas A&M by 10.5. With the Aggies quarterback Trevor Knight out for the season, how do you think the Aggies will adapt?
You know, I think this is going to be a really close game. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen, but I feel like Ole Miss is just going to somehow pull this one off.
I'm going to agree with Casey. I mean, Trevor Knight is the only reason that A&M's offense has been producing, and without him, they struggled last week. And I really think Chad Kelly and their offense is still really strong, so I think it's going to be a battle of who can keep who's scoreless longer, or for A&M's thing, can they even get on the board? So I'm going to go with Ole Miss.
Chad Kelly, out. Trevor Knight out. There's going to be at least 8 turnovers in this game because these offenses don't know what they're doing. So, I don't even know. It's in A&M. Give me A&M, home field advantage.
After last week's 66-27 win against Cal Berkeley, the Washington Huskies have moved up to number 4 in the rankings, while number 20 USC came away with a win last week against Oregon. The spread favors Washington by 8.5 points. Do you see a potential upset here, or do you think the Huskies are going to get the win?
I think Washington's going to get this win. They finally got number 4, which I believe that they thought they, of course, deserved. Which they do. They're undefeated, so of course they deserve that number 4 spot. But I don't see USC going in there to their home field and beating Washington.
Yeah, there's not much to say other than that. I think USC just isn't quite where Washington is, so give me Washington.
I like Washington, but I'm a little bit crazy today. Give me USC with the big upset against number 4 Washington.
Wow, bold
Mississippi
prediction.
State did it last week against A&M. Why couldn't USC do it this week against Washington? You don't want to be number 4 team.
Now we move on to the Battle of the Sun Belt, where Appalachian State, who almost pulled off an upset early in the season against Tennessee, is going to face Troy. Who do you all expect to win this game?
Well, we just have a great weekend of college football, don't we? I think Troy is going to get this one. I know early in the season they kept it really close with Clemson. A lot of people thought that Troy should have won that game. I just think Troy's the better team. I think they're going to get that win.
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to go with Troy. Troy hasn't lost a game since that Clemson game, so they are on quite a win streak. And although Appalachian State did challenge Tennessee, I don't see them posing a huge threat to Troy in this game.
Well, they call it the Fun Belt for a reason. Their games are really fun to watch. Troy being one of those teams, App State being another. I know that the whole Tennessee thing, they wish they would have had it. However, Troy did look very good against Clemson, and they looked good since then. So give me Troy to take home the Sun Belt Championship.
Last but not least, we have the Deep South's oldest rivalry, as the number 8 Auburn Tigers travel to Athens to face the Georgia Bulldogs. Auburn is favored by 10 points. What do you see happening in this game?
Auburn's going to win by a Daniel Carlson field goal. I feel like it's going to be a really close game. We're going to go into Athens. That's not our strong suit, but I feel like Auburn, we've just been so good. Our defense has been so good. I think we're going to get this win, but it's not going to be a pretty one.
Yeah, actually, Casey's almost reading my mind today. It seems, I think it's going to be a battle to the end. I think Auburn might win more than just a field goal, but Auburn struggled in Georgia and in Athens. That I just think that the game and this rivalry will pose too much of a threat, but I think Auburn's defense will hold out against Georgia's offense, and I really just believe that it's going to be a close game, but give me the Tigers by 7.
Athens is a tough place to play. No matter how Georgia is doing that year, it will always be tough for Auburn, especially being the 3:30, 2:30 Central game on CBS. So, that being said, Auburn, when it comes to being on that stage, sometimes doesn't perform as well as we think they will. Last week at Vanderbilt showed that there are some faults, especially with the defense, and Ole Miss showed that as well. So expect Georgia to take those weaknesses the defense has, especially the slant passes, quarterback getting it out very quickly, and use it against us. Auburn will win the game, but I'm going to go a little bit higher. You said 3, you said 7. I'm going to go 10. They'll beat Georgia by 10 points.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Tiger Tally. For more on the latest in Auburn sports, tune into AU Nation on Monday nights right here on Eagle Eye TV, Channel 6. See y'all next week, and War Eagle.